Bobby with the Paper Jungle. I am back with another project I have designed for Country Craft Creations design team. This is Tammy's new exclusive collection, one of the newer ones, and it's called Christmas Dreams. It just has beautiful teals, pinks, and blues in it, a little bit of yellow, just really pretty. On the front cover, the only thing I added was the design paper with the church scene, and has a pink Christmas tree, and I added a little tiny star that I had in my stash. I did use her method of wrapping the album in 3 parts, and you'll see that my stripe goes all the way around. And on the back I just used the poinsettia from the collection, and I thought it was so pretty. I love this stripe paper. The colors are just really striking. And I used her pink seam binding for my closure. And when you open the album, on the inside cover, you have a pouch with a waterfall inside. So the little girl, when I put the flap on, it covered her head, so I went to a second piece of the design paper and I fussy cut out her head and put it on the top, so that way you've got her face here and it's also here. So this has a waterfall inside, and you have 4 pages with pink solid on the background. You can add a photo there, and I cut my strips so that the print continued all the way down. And then on the top and bottom flaps you can add photos, journaling, other ephemera, whatever you might want to add. There's just plenty of room for whatever you might want to do. So this closes with a large magnet. And on page 1, you have all of the pages. 3 pages are the same. There is a short page in here. So this is the stopper. It is one of her cut-aparts, and I just put it on scraps with some white photo mats. More scraps here, and it's plain on the back. And I used the smaller version of the Christmas tree print here. There's my stripe I love. These little cut-aparts, what are these called? Nutcrackers. I could not think of the word. These are from her cut-aparts, the mini ones. This one says Joy to the World, and this one says Merry Christmas. Then when you open it, on the inside of the flap, you have a photo mat, a journaling spot, another one of the cut-aparts, and this is one of her poinsettia from one of the papers that I fussy cut, and just added it on there for some extra color. Now, there's tons of space in these pockets. You can see it's very roomy, so you can get all kinds of things in there. So let's put the stopper back. That way you don't need a magnet. There's a large magnet here, one on the back cover, and there's 2 small magnets throughout and I'll tell you where they're at. The back side of page 1 is all in blues and yellows. Double photo mat here with some of the paper. This is from the My Colors. I can't tell you the name of it. I've got it listed in the cut list which one of the My Colors I used. And then on page 2 we have little places to put the cut-aparts with these strips. Your stopper looks like an envelope, and it opens out with room for, let me trim that off, room for 5 photos. Oops. This goes down and up and closed. Then on the inside I have a photo mat, not a double, and it's loose at the bottom and the top, so you can tuck your photos under it. Yeah, well, you don't need any adhesive. You have room here if you want to add a photo there as well. And then this goes in here, and we'll stick this one back behind. Actually, it'd go here if I wanted it to. There you go. On the back side of that, I used the cut-apart with the nutcracker. There is a small magnet here. Just makes a little photo booklet. So on this page alone, you've got room for 5 photos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you might want to journal in some of those spots as well. Then this is the short page I talked about, and it flips independently of each other. And I put double belly bands on them, and I just made tags to go in each one. And I used a die that I had in my stash with hole reinforcers. This one looks like a little camera. I thought it would double as a suitcase too, or some kind of a satchel. And I just used scraps of the cardstock to decorate the bottom of each one. So this is the glacier blue again. That paper is so pretty. Let's put this one out here. There we go. So those flap over, and then on the back side you have 4 small photo mats. These little stars I had in my stash, I just added 3 there, and I punched out one of her poinsettias for that one. And then on the last page, the stopper is just a scrap of the glacier blue cardstock, a piece of white cardstock, and a topper that I cut out with a die that I had in my stash, and I just folded it in half and wrapped it around the back. Got 3 more of those little hearts there on this photo mat. This is one of the cut-aparts. And there's my favorite paper again. And then on the inside, I used the reverse of this, has nutcrackers on it, and I love this little guy, the one with the white hair, so I added that there. And then, again, over in my pocket. So that goes there. And then the back side is this pink paper that had the cream colored angels, and I used some of the cream colored my colors, and I cut out a couple of the cut aparts and put them on gray, the gray Artisan, and then I put a little dot up underneath it to elevate it so that you've got plenty of room to slide something up under it. And then the back of the cover is a pouch, little stoppers here, and I used, this is called Aqua Tint, I know that's what I used here. This is a little photo mat I created just out of scraps, nothing earth-shattering. And then I had 3 cut-aparts left, and I wanted to make them really stand out, so I put them on I wrapped a piece of lightweight cardstock with the gray Artisan, added my photo mat on the front, and a journaling. It can be journaling or a photo on the back, but I just wanted to use these cut-aparts. They're so pretty. The Christmas Wonder, the Nutcracker, and the Santa with the little girl. So that is my project. Whoops, these go down first. And that closes, and that's your other large magnet. And they're all basic gray magnets that you can find in Tammy's store. So I hope you love this. I thought it turned out so pretty. You can't go wrong with these new papers Tammy's got. They're just beautiful. So if you created, I would love to see what you've created. Hope you will share it with me. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you back before too long. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Bobby. I am working on the Christmas Dreams this morning, and I wanted to show you my cover before I put it together in case you had questions about wrapping your design paper so that it goes completely around without wrapping the whole cover. So this is wrapped just like we normally do, the 3-piece, and I have added the design paper here and just wrapped it around to the inside. And I'll have all this on my cut list, and I'm just going to attach it to the spine just like we normally do, just like that. And then the back piece will be attached to this side so that my stripe will continue all the way around. And just make sure that if you use a stripe, that when you cut your paper you make sure it's going to match along the top before you add it there. But that is my plan for this. I love this paper. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then I have cut a piece of gray which will go on the opposite side, on the inside, to cover that. And then my plan is for the, I'll maybe lay these aside till I get ready to glue them down. And you can see I've attached 2 pieces of the pink seam binding from Tammy's store to be my closure. And my hinge is going to be the stack the deck, and I have a piece that is 2.5 by 7, but I'm going to cut this down to 6 3/4 because my page is going to be 7. And then I have 1.5 by 7. So let me cut these down to 6 3/4 real quick so I can show you what I'm going to do. Six and 3/4. Cut that one down. And cut this one down. 6 3/4. Okay, when you put these together, you're only going to put glue on the back side of this center 1/2 inch. And if you once you get your glue on it, if you attach it right up to this score line, you will have a perfect alignment. But what I want to do, because I want 2 separate pages that will turn independently of each other. This is 6 3/4. So it's going to have to be, what is half of 6 3/4 be? 3, like 3 5/8. Let me see if that works. I'm just going to make a tiny mark at 3 5/8. So there's 3 5/8. Let me turn it around and see if it lines up at 3 5/8. 3, no it doesn't, that's not halfway. Well, 3 1/2 would be 7 and I cut it. Let me do 3 3/8. See how that works. Now I'm going to put it to 6 and see if it comes out. It did, 3 3/8. So 3 3/8 is your halfway mark. So I am going to take my scissors. What did I do with my scissors? There it is. On this right hand side at 3 3/8, I'm going to just cut straight into that score line and just put a little bit of an angle cut on it, like that. Now I can make 2 separate small pages with pockets to go in there, and they will move independently of each other. So I'm going to burnish those. And this one. And then I want to burnish this one. I'm going to turn it upside down so I get a straight. There we go. Now let's burnish these 2. I like this hinge method because there's not as much bulk here, and to me your pages lay flatter using this system. Sometimes when you go to turn your pages, you get a lot of resistance with the hidden hinge because you got a double thickness there. So there is those 2. And when you put your glue on the back side of this, just match this one up to your score line. See, you'll be perfect. And then we'll have a full page, 2 small pages, and a full page. So we'll have 4 pages in here, and that's plenty for this little album. Alright, that's what I have for you so far. As soon as I get the album put together, the cover, and I'll add this gray piece to the inside of the spine. I'm going to put this together, but I'm not going to stick it down to the book until I decide what design paper I want behind it. But I will be back with you shortly. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we were working on the cover, and I wanted to share the outside of it with you in case you may have missed it. I have the church scene here on the front with a stripe. We put all that together so it continues around, and then I have the pink poinsettias on the back. It almost makes this look like it's bubbled up because of the shading, but it's not. It's down flat. And then I have my ribbons attached underneath this paper with the church. Then on the inside, I think where we left off, I was getting ready to add the gray panel here. And I have added this one and the center one. I'm tearing up my nails doing this, but I'll fix that later. What I wanted to tell you was, before I put this piece down, is because we have the gray and the stripe out here, you've got a double thickness in here. So make sure that your edges are not all hitting at the same place in here, so you don't have this real thin bulk where it drops off. So my stripe is up under here. This is the gray that joins the two, no, this is the wrap from the album. This is the gray that joins the two pieces together, and my stripe is between there, so they're all cut at different levels. You've got level 1, level 2, and then level 3 underneath, so you don't have this huge drop off in depth. Then this piece will go here, and that will be the inside of the album cover. And I'll go ahead and glue that down off camera, but I wanted to share that with you in case you've not made one before. That'd be something you need to watch. And then I did glue my hinge together, and it's going to sit right in here, and we'll have 3 full-size pages and then this split page. So that's what we're going to have, and I'll cut some strips to go in between there to kind of camouflage some of that gray. But I wanted to start putting together the piece that goes inside the front cover. So we have, this piece is 5.5 by 6, and it's the Artisan Gray. And then this one is, let me make sure I got the right one. I've got it written down over here so I don't. This one is I don't have it written on there, but let me measure it. Make sure I give you the right size. They're both, the top and the bottom pieces are both 5.5. This one is 5.25 in height, and then with the 5.25 at the top of your scoreboard, you're going to score at 1/2 and 3/4. Now I want to just taper off a little bit from the 1/2 inch. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to attach this. It can go underneath or on top, whichever one you want. It doesn't make any difference, just as long as your sides match up. And I think I'm going to put mine on the top. Because my intention is to glue down only 3 sides inside the cover, so this will be another tuck spot behind it. And in doing that, if I put this flap on the outside, then it's going to impede how anything that I slide under there is going to stop at that 1/2 inch. So let me glue this down. Oops. Wrong way. Glue the right edges together. Try to do this without sticking my head in the camera. I invariably do that, and I don't mean to. So let's get this burnished down. And already I've got glue on me. It's called really getting into your work. There's the bottom piece, and then the top piece is what I do with it. Yeah, I'll just measure it. Of course, it's 5.5 wide, and then it is 4 1/8. I think I probably cut it at 4 1/4. Yes, 4 1/4. And that is your top piece, and it's going to go up here. So let me attach the 1/2 inch strip. Now I used an oval die to get my edge here, and I just measured down how far I wanted it to come, and then I just cut it with the die. And still got tape on the back of it. I'll remove that. Oh, let me taper this. I almost forgot. Just so I don't have any raw edges hanging over. Just from the 1/4 or the 1/2 inch again. And we'll glue this down. Oops. Match up our corners and our top edge. There we go. Okay, and that's going to give us a 1/4 inch gusset because there's going to be a waterfall hidden inside here. And I see a little edge right here that I'm not crazy about, and I'm going to trim it off. There we go. So let's reinforce that. This is going to have the little girl print on the outside. And this is going to have this up here. But see how I lose her head? So what I did was I cut another one out, and I'm going to glue it on the top, match it up. So what I'm going to do, once I glue this down, and I have to decide where I want my magnet before I do that. I can always put it underneath. Yeah, I'll put it underneath because I want to be able to show you. And I've inked all these with weathered wood, and you can see it gives it a nice little edge, but it's kind of a gray-blue color. I thought I liked that a lot better than the black. So I'm going to open this out and add this down. Put this right here with just a small edge of gray showing. It's the prettiest paper. And then this one, get these off of here. I'm not crazy about this purple tape. I'm not going to buy it anymore because when you use it with a die cut, it's like concreted onto your paper. I should have taken it off before now. I left it too long. I've seen people saying they're using a new one, and it's a yellow color, so I need to order that and try it. But I sure am not in love with this purple tape. Okay, so let's glue this down, and I want to show you, I goofed up when I cut this with the die. My die was off of the edge, so I've got a flat edge here that really doesn't look very nice. So what I'm going to do is I made a little tab that is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and I'm going to bury my magnet inside here and make a little tab to lift it by, and that will hide that. And then I'll put the little girl's head up here. So let's put this down. I thought sure I had that die placed correctly. I had it taped down and everything. Somehow, either I just didn't place it right or it shifted. Maybe the tape wasn't holding it right. I don't know, but I don't like it showing like that. And I needs some type of closure, so I thought that's what I'll do. So we're going to put this up here like that. Oh, I don't have it over far enough. Let me move it a little bit before it's stuck down completely. I didn't have it even on both sides. It's hard sometimes to get things just right, no matter how hard you try. I do want to move this up just a hair. If I keep messing with it, my glue's going to be dried out. There, that's better. Now, all I have to do is put the little girl up under here and match her, which I've already marked it, but I wanted to show you what I did. I put her up under here and matched her hair and her hands and her little dress. And then I'm going to close this with my gusset in place and close this down. Oops, I shifted it. I let go of it. It's my fault. And get this in place. Just like that. And draw a line. Make sure my edges are straight. I'm going to draw a line where I need to cut it. And then I'm going to cut just above the line to allow for the gray. See if I can see it. It's kind of faint. And I can put that right there like that. And it'll make her match. Okay, so let's put her on there. Actually, let me just lightly touch, get rid of those white edges. Okay, we'll add that on there. Make sure that's sitting up straight. And we're going to put her right on there. There she matches. Now I didn't lose her head. When I realized I'd done that, I was so aggravated. I thought, oh no, I've got to fix that. Stuff like that bugs me. Now we can go back to the inside and add the solid pink. Make sure if I've got it cut right. Make sure that's going to close. And this is going to close. Okay. And just a little gray border around the edges. And now before I add anything to the inside of the bottom cover, I've got to make sure I have my magnet placement. So let's get this in here, side to side, and just shy of the top. So we're good all the way around. Now our waterfall pieces are going to sit in here. So I need my magnet before I do anything else, because if I don't, I'll forget it, and then I won't have a closure. Looks like I might have to open a new pack. I'm tempted to use the small magnet on here, but I'm afraid once I get the waterfall and photos in there that the small one might not be strong enough, so I'm going to go with the big one just in case. Now these are the basic gray that Tammy carries, so, and they're amazing. They are really nice. So I need a positive and a negative. And a positive. Oops. So I'm going to put I want this to attach, and it'll cover a little bit of her hair, but it's not going to be that bad. So I'm going to put my magnet in there. Looks roughed up a little bit. Let me get my sanding block. It looks like it roughed it up a little bit when I punched it. Okay. Just smooth the edges out a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to put this inside my little pull tab, and it needs to be closest to the fold, like that, and then we can attach it to the cover. Get plenty of glue around it, to the front and the back. I can put it underneath. Doesn't matter as long as it's glued down. And it needs to go right here. I don't want too much on the covering the little girl. Make sure it looks straight on there. I've either nicked my fingernail or got glue on me. See how that looks. That'll be fine. Okay, now this one. Let's see if it's going to stick this. No, it's going to be the other way. Okay, I need a piece of score tape. Okay. Oh, quit. Things keep catching on my jacket. I gotta put something in there to stop it from sticking till I get it to catch. Okay, that's straight. Take my pencil in here and push it down. Till it catches. It's not exactly where I want it. this and see if it's stuck in. No, it's not. My method didn't work. Okay. Let me see about where it's going to hit. It's going to hit right on her, to the left of her hand. And it wants to go like this. Oh, so I put that on backwards. Let me turn it over. Like this. So I'm going to hold it roughly about left of her hand. And I'm going to lay it down here and let it pull itself into place. And I hope it works. There. It did. It caught. So now let's press it down. And open it up. And it's right where I want it. Yay! Now, this little piece I want to ink up. And I've got one cut for the back side, but I'll save it till I put my... Well, no, I better put it down now because my design paper is going to cover it when I get to the inside. So put a little glue on this. And I just used the back side of one of the design papers that had a real muted cream color print to it, so it didn't distract from the pretty little girl. There's that. And then we can put one on the inside. And there's one for that. Now you'll have 4 waterfall pieces, and they are, and of course I didn't write them down, and there's a ruler. They are 5.5, I'm sure. Yes, 5.5. I think they're 4.5. 5.5 by 4 5/8. No, 4.5. 5.5 by 4.5. I was right the first time. So with the 4.5 at the top of your scoreboard, you're going to score it 1/2 inch. And then we will add those to the inside. Once they're all burnished. So let's do that. And on these, you don't want to taper the edges, because you need that edge to give you an alignment. One more. Okay. Now these will add into the top here. Make sure it's not too wide. No, it's not. It's fine. So we will add the first one. It's always wise to do a dry fit before you glue something down. Alright. Now they're going to go side to side. Just below that score line. Then you'll take your second one, put it right up under this one. Don't overlap it, just put it up to the first one. Right up to it. And we'll do the same way with number 3 and number 4. And then I'll cut pieces for the inside of the top and the bottom, and I'll be right back, and we'll add that and then put it in the book. Number 4. Closes perfectly. Ah. Okay guys, I went ahead and finished this one up off screen. We had this little tab on there. I did add the paper to the inside, and I put a 1/2-inch strip on each of the photo mats like this, so you've got plenty of room for photos. And then another one back here. I'll add something here, maybe a little pocket there, but I wanted to get it put down in the album, so I've got my T-square here so I can make sure I get it straight, and I'm going to center it pretty much like that. And I did add I cut some 1/4 inch strips and I put 2 pieces here, here, and here, so that it'll give me a little extra room in case I have a little folder or something, an embellishment that I want to put up under there. Oh, come on, ink, glue. I was just afraid it was going to sit too close, and I want to make sure that if I put anything with a folded piece under there that it's going to fit okay. Make sure I get good coverage here. Okay. So I've got that nice and straight. And I'm going to push that down. And I want to open it up so I can apply some pressure to it. It looks like it's closer on one side than the other. But it's straight, so I won't worry about it. I don't want to tear my paper if I pull it up. I could have moved it that way just a little bit, but it'll be okay. Make sure that I got a good seal on it. And then I'll come back and add some photo mats here. But I wanted to go ahead and get started on this side. So I've put my paper down here. Oh, I've chipped my nail up more. It's about time to do them, huh? Okay, so what we're going to put on this side, let me get rid of this for the moment, so we have room to work. Run my pen through here, and it's one deck finicky. Okay, we have the back piece, and this is just going to be a pouch. No waterfall in this one. And I did cut it a little shy on both sides so that I have room to put my little bumpers in here, so that they will keep anything from falling out. And everything has a score line on it of 1/2 and 3/4, so that we have a 3/4 inch give there. So I'm going to set these along the edge. Oh, better take the pin out, hadn't I? As centered as I can get them. And I'll use this 11. This is 2, and that's, let me see, this is about, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? If I put it, let me do it this way so I can see what I'm doing. I'll try to center it this way, if I can. I can see the top and the bottom better this way. I'll put it right along the edge. That looks pretty decent. Okay, so I came down 1 inch, a little over 1 inch. So we'll put this one pretty much the same, or as close as I can. My eyes don't betray me. Anything's possible. Okay, so 1 1/4. My hands is still wet. I just helped Summer wash both the dogs and she sprayed me. What a goober. I said, "Did you do that on purpose?" She said, "Well, sort of." She thought it was funny. I really didn't want to get wet. I was just trying to be nice and help her. Okay, so there's that. Now, This time I'm going to add this to the back. And I want to score it. Where's my other, oh, right in under my nose. Let me get this started here. There we go. Burnish this down so we've got a good 1/4 inch there. And I am going to put this underneath. And it does go side to side, so let's taper it just a hair on that 1/2 inch. Well, I'll put it on top. I think it'd be better. I'll just put it on top like everything else. Might as well be consistent, huh? Okay. So this is going to go at the very top, corner to corner. Here we go. And then the bottom piece, and I didn't give you the measurements of these, did I? The top piece is, these little pieces are 4 by 1 3/4. This bottom piece is 5 1/2 by 6 1/2. And let me see if this is the top piece. Yes, 5 1/2 by 5. And I'm knocking stuff on the floor. So we will add this one to the bottom, like this. And I've inked all the design paper with withered wood distress ink. This is not wanting to bend like it's supposed to. I have glue. Looks like my skin's peeling, but it's glue. Okay. And we'll put this one down here, and I'll miter the edges a little bit. And we'll glue it down. Just like this. Sorta. Okay, I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. And you just want that 1/2 inch now. Leave your 1/4 not glued. Alright. It looks just a hair shy. Let me move it over a little. Nope, it's not hanging over. We're good. Now we can put this green in the center here. I had to trim a little bit off the sides to make it allow for this. So we'll put that down. And then you can embellish however you want to. I'll show you what papers I'm going to use. Well, you can see by the little bumpers what paper I'm using. And this is the Spearmint, my colors collection. There you go. And then I cut the spearmint for under here. I'm just going to do the spearmint all the way down, like so. It's so hard for me to cut these angles. I don't know why I struggle so, but I do. It looks better like that. Okay. I haven't cut the bottom piece yet for the spearmint. Move it over just a little bit. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. But this is a little shy over here, so I'll put some kind of an embellishment there to kind of camouflage that. And then I have this for the outside cover. I can't decide which one I want to use. I think I'm just going to use this one. I like that one. And then I'll put this one here. And I may put a little, I need to put some kind of a tab there. I don't know which one. Oh, gosh. Oh yeah, I can put the tab there. My magnet in the tab. I have to cut a tab for that like I did the other one, but I'll do that. And then this will go down at the bottom. These will tuck in to hold everything. Like that. This will go down here. Maybe I should turn this over. It looks kind of pretty like that. I think I like it that way. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Kind of breaks up the monotony. And then I'll cut a little tab for this. And I'll put it in the book just like I did the first one. And then I'll come back when that's done and we'll start building the pages. Alright, I'll see you shortly. Okay guys, we're going to put one of the pages in. And the beauty of this page is you can add all your papers to the outside before you ever put it in the book. Just makes it so easy. So what I have is, this is 6 by 9, I think. Here we go. Maybe it's 7 by 9. 7 by 9, and it is scored at 6, and then I've rounded both the corners of the flat part. I've added paper here. I'm going to put probably photo mats and some design paper in there. The front flaps over and we'll have a stopper in it. And then I've got photo mats on the back. You just want to make sure if you decorate them before you put them in the book. Remember, this is not top, which often the flap lifts up. So you turn it over and remember, up is this way. So I've got some of the design paper. My colors here for the photo mats, and then these are loose where you can put a photo under them. So all you have to do is slide this and position it where you want it under your hinge. Kind of center it from top to bottom. And I'm going to add my glue to the outside edge of this hinge. And I purposely made these just a hair longer than the hinge, so you won't see the hinge, hopefully. That's my intention anyway. So I'm going to square this up where I want it, and just kind of, and you don't want to push it all the way in, leave it out just a hair. And watch your top and bottom, and then push this down over it and just burnish it into place. Now this would have laid completely flat had I not put a 1/4 inch hinge or gusset in these little pockets. But that's okay with me, I don't mind. And then you have your pocket piece, which is, and you'll see on your cut list there's 3 of each of these. This is not 8 by 2.5, and it's scored both short ends and one long side at 1/2, and then you'll miter it and taper your 2 top corners, burnish it under, and then we can add glue. But what I want to do, because this is a shallow pocket, I don't want to lose a 1/2 inch because everything you put in here is going to hit this hinge. So I am going to glue this down first to hopefully save my 1/2 inch. Since I've got such a shallow pocket, I don't want to lose a 1/2 inch of it. So I am going to match this up with the edges folded under, just like, let me turn it around where I can see my edge. And I want it just above that score line, just like that. There we go. Burnish it into place. Then if you'll open it out, you can put just a plain old piece of Scotch tape over that. If I can get a hold of it. This is a new roll. It's hard to get a hold of that. There we go. And this is that Scotch tape that disappears when you put it on something. So I'm just going to tear off a piece about the length of that. Oops. It wants to cling to me. And I'm going to put it right over that because the pocket's going to hide it anyway. And then when I put anything in here, it won't catch on that edge. Let me get my scissors. I cut it a little long. Okay. Now we can add glue to our side pieces and fasten them down. Alright, just bring those forward and attach them down. And then there'll be inserts in the pocket that will keep this closed. And I want a couple of clothespins just for a few seconds to make sure this is going to dry where I want it. So there's your first page. And you can see when you open it, this relates to that, and I think that makes it look much nicer. I mean, it might not matter to some people, but to me it does. I like it that way, but you can certainly use any papers you want. Heck, you may not even have this same collection. You may be using something different, so make it however you like it. Use the papers you like. And there you go. So then the next thing will be the 2 small pages, but all of them are attached the same way to the back side. And you can decorate them before you put them in if you want to. I will come back and share one of these little ones with you just to make sure you understand how I'm going to do that. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, we're ready for the 2 small pages. So we're going to attach them the same way as we did the first one, but you want to make sure that this outside edge lines up. And just a scant ways away. I've got my finger wet. I just put some ice in my juice. So we're going to line it up with the edge of that, just a hair away from the score line. And we're going to add the glue here. Well, this thing likes to act up sometimes. So let's get our glue on. If it'll come out, there it goes. Okay. We're just going to bring it forward, just like that. Same way with the other one. Line it up with the outside. And you have a little bit of a gap between it. And move it forward just a bit so it lines up with the other one. Just like that. And put a little glue on it. Make sure I've got the same gap between the two pages. It's lined up on the outside edge. Whoops. I moved it. Forward just a hair. When I push the thing down, it keeps wanting to slide forward, and I don't want it to do that. Alright, now stay put. There we go. I think I got it just a little too far over the edge. There. Just like that. Okay, now on the back side of each of them I've already put my photo mats like that. Yeah, that wasn't working. Let me straighten it up again. So they don't touch. See, that one's not right. I don't want them to touch. Maybe I better go the other direction. Put some more glue on it. Hush, Kiwi. That's enough noise out of you. It's not straight. It should work. Let's see what that looks like. That one has to, there we go. That should do it right there. Gotta make sure they're straight and they're not gonna bump into each other. And that'll work. Okay. Got a little glue seepage there. Okay, now on the back side, I cut the quilted looking piece to go on each of these. So let's put that down. And this is going to cover the hinge on this side because we're not going to have a pocket here. I'll show you here in just a second what I'm going to do. If you hear a lot of thumping, it's because we're not very far from the high school and their band is playing and I can hear the drums. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but I hear it loud and clear. They are having a ball game. Always on Friday night. I'm going to put this one down. Go. Now I'm going to put 2 little bands on each one, and it looks like maybe it's just a hair long. Maybe not for that one. So that we can slide tags down in here. I thought that would be kind of cute. So I just have little 1/2-inch tabs here, and these are 4 by, I think they're 4. 4 and 4.5 by 4.5. Oh, I measured the same thing. What a dingy. 4.5 by 1. Neither one. Ain't no way that's 4.5. Sometimes, Bobby, you're just a goober. Okay. Put this one down. Just a second. And then we'll do the second one. I thought that'd be really cute to do it that way. Something different. Okay, let's see if I need to trim this any. Yep, that one's a little bit long. And so is that one, just a hair long. Can roll it under just a tiny. See if that helps. Yep. Okay, I think I have everything done I want to do on this album, but I wanted to share a few things with you before I do the final walkthrough for everybody to see, because some of this will not be explained in the walkthrough. And if you're making it, you'll want to know these things. So on the first page, this is my insert that's going to hold the flap down, and I just took a scrap and I cut it so that it would fit this cut apart that came with the collection. And then I just added some couple photo mats and some of the scraps in here, and I cut it a 1/2 inch shorter. Once it fits this, then I left an extra 1/2 inch for this paper scrap, and I just left it blank on the back. And then on the inside of the flap, I added a photo mat with a journaling spot. Let me see if you can see this. Let me move it over just a little bit more. Yeah, it's not, I have a small area, of course, you know. There you go. So you can see I cut out one of the little poinsettias she had in one of the cut aparts and just added it here for just color and embellishment. And then you've got tons of room in here where you can put more photo mats. Got a spot. It's just dust. So this flaps shut. You've got your 2 photo mats here. This is one of her cut-aparts that I put on pink, and a couple of the little cut-aparts. And this will hold it down. On the inside cover, you've already seen that with the waterfall. Jeez, I'm having to struggle for my words here this morning. Okay, this one we did together. That one kind of hangs over the edge. This is the piece that holds that one closed. I just took a scrap and cut it to a point so it looked like an envelope, and I attached it to a piece that I had folded 3 ways. You fold the top down, the bottom up, and then this flaps over, and I put a small magnet in it, and I left it blank on the back. So you've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos in here. And that is your closure. And I did use a small magnet, I think I said that already. Then on the inside of the flap, I have, let me grab this little thing. I put a large white cardstock there, and I left this open, and this is open, so that you can tuck your photo underneath. That way you don't need any kind of adhesive or anything. This one will stick back in here. This can go in here. And then you saw this, I believe. This is, I cut 3 little tags. And I just put scraps of paper on them. And this little the whole reinforcer is some dies that I have. They cut many different reinforcer shapes. I've had them for quite a while. Okay guys, I think I have everything added to this that I want to add, but I wanted to share a few things with you for the final on the tutorial. On the cover I did add a little pink star that I had in my stash. I didn't put anything else on the cover at all. I just love the paper and I didn't want to minimize that at all. So on the first page, the stopper that I made is just a artisan gray scrap, and I cut it height-wise to fit the cut apart, and I left an extra 1/2 inch out on the right hand side so that I could have this pink stripe. And these are all scraps, just some white cardstock and the design paper, and I left it plain on the back. Then on the inside of the flap, let me make sure I want to make sure you can see everything. On the inside of the flap, I added a photo mat and a journaling spot, one of her cut-aparts, and I fussy cut one of the little pink poinsettias out. So that will close, and you have tons of space in here for more inserts than just this one. So that goes in there to keep it closed. On the second page, the piece that I made for closure is I had a long strip that I scored in thirds, and then I cut this little piece out of scrap to make it look like an envelope, and I just attached it on the back with a 1/2 inch score mark, and then it opens like this, and it gives you 5 more places for photos. Oops, this one goes down first, and a small magnet in this. Then on the inside, I just put strips, and I attached it at the bottom and on each side, and left it open at the top and the bottom so that you could stick a photo under there and you wouldn't need any adhesive for that. And I just tucked 3 of the little cut-aparts in those straps, or strips, whatever. You have room here for a photo if you'd want to as well. Then we've got our 2 small pages that we've already done together with the tags, and I just put strips of paper on the bottom of them from scraps and used old punches, border punches that I had in my stash. And this is a little die that I used. Cuts out the whole reinforcers. So there's that. And these flip over on the back side. I added 3 more of those little stars, and I punched out one of her poinsettias just with a circle punch. And then this is page 4, and I just have a simple photo mat. I used a scrap of the Glacier Blue Glimmer paper from my colors, and I used a die to cut out a stopper, or a topper, and I just scored it in half and wrapped it around to the back so that you can add a photo and journal as well. And there's 3 more of the little stars. And on the inside, I took a scrap from the reverse side of this, had the, now I can't think of the name again. I'm at a loss today, I tell you. Nutcrackers. I wanted to get the little guy with the white hair in there, so I added a strip of that and 2 more photo mats. This holds it closed. And then on the back pouch, I made 1 small photo mat out of scraps, and I used my quarter rounder on this little tab. Has a photo on the back. And then I had 3 of the cut-aparts left, and I wrapped a piece of lightweight chipboard with a gray Artisan, added these to the front, and a photo mat to the back of each one. So that's what I have in there, and you have room for more if you want. You can see there's plenty of space. Alright, that's what I have. It is all done. I'm very happy with it. I hope you will love it as well. Let me know if you make it and share some photos with me. I would love to see your creations. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you back with my next project for too long.